In this lecture, we are going to look at the sort function in Excel, and using that we will be sorting our data in a particular order. Sorting basically means arranging your data in a particular manner. It could be A to Z or Z to A if your data contains text based columns. It could be smallest to largest or largest to smallest if your data contains number based columns, and it can even be oldest to newest and newest to oldest if your data contains some kind of date. So let's see how we can enable the sort option. The first thing that you need to do here is to be within your data. So you need to go to any cell which is within your data. You cannot go to a cell which is outside your data. It won't be applying the sort to your data then. You need to be within any cell of your data in order for Excel to understand what data you have here. So if you are within this particular cell, or let's say this cell, Excel will understand the continuous data around it and apply the sort only on those columns. And that's exactly why you need to be within your data and not outside it for Excel to understand where to apply the sort. So now I'm within my data here. The way I apply sort here is by going to the home tab at the top. Here we are at the home tab. Within that, towards the end of the home tab, we have the sort and filter option. Click on sort and filter option, and here we have the option of filter. Enabling the option of filter also allows us to sort our data. If you click on filter, the headers of each and every column of your continuous data will be having this button here. This is a drop down button, clicking on which you have a drop down. This will help you add sorting to your continuous data. Let's see how we can do that. There are three types of sort that we can apply based on the data that we have in our data set. It can be a text based sort, a number based sort, and also a date based sort. Let's take a look at a text based sort first. Here we have the data of detected states. Let's say I want to arrange my entire data in A to Z manner according to my detected state. The way I will do that is by going to this button here, clicking on it to open up the drop down. Within that, the first two options are sort A to Z and sort Z to A. I want to sort my detected states according to A to Z manner, so I will select the option of A to Z. Remember one crucial point here: whenever you sort your data from a particular column, it's not just the values from that columns which are arranged, it's the entire row of that particular value which moves up and down. For example, if let's say this cell was Andaman and Nicobar Islands and we were sorting our data A to Z, so this cell would go to the top before Kerala. In that case, it is not just this particular cell moving up and down, it is the entire row of that cell which goes up together. So it's not this one single cell, it's the entire row moving up together. So let's apply our sort here. I'll click on this and select the option of A to Z. Once you do that, as you can see, we have different patients from Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and it's not just the cells which are moving up and down from this column, even the patient number is moving up and down, the date announced is moving up and down, and all the other cells from that row as well. So this is how you can sort your data in A to Z manner according to detected state. One important point to note here is if you want to undo your sort, that is go back to your default or your original data, the only option that you have is to press Ctrl Z to undo the action that you just performed. If you go to the drop down, there is no option to clear your sort. There is no option to undo your sort. The only way in which you can do that is by going and clicking on Ctrl Z. So now if I press on Ctrl Z, I will simply undo my sort, and now we are back to our default data. Let's try doing the same by Z to A. So I'll go to the drop down and select the option of Z to A. You do that and West Bengal will be at the top, and if I go to the last cell by pressing Ctrl down arrow, the navigation shortcut that we learned, you see the last cell will be from A. So now our data is Z to A. Let's go back to the top and now again press Ctrl Z to bring back our original data. Point number 2 here is, if you want to sort your data, you can only use one column for sorting. For example, if I have the detected state sorted A to Z, I cannot go to, for example, my age bracket and sort my data as oldest, I would say smallest to largest or largest to smallest. Only one column can determine the sorting, which also logically makes sense because if there are two things determining how the arrangement is going to be, Excel is going to be confused and it won't follow any of it. So you can only have one thing determining the sort. For example, here I have A to Z according to states. If I go to age bracket, which is a number based column, I can apply a number based sort. So I'll go to the drop down and here instead of having A to Z, Z to A, I have the option of sorting small to large and large to small. Let's say I select the option of large to small, click on it, and if you notice, now my data is sorted according to age bracket from large to small. The earlier sorting that we had for detected state is now completely removed because you can only have one sort at a time for your entire data. And here that is the age bracket determining the sort. Whichever column has the sort or anything applied to it will have a separate icon. Notice how all the other columns have the icon of a triangle which is downwards, but when it comes to age bracket, you have a triangle and next to it you also have this vertical line which is, if you look closely, a down arrow. You click on this and change it to smallest to largest and that will change to an up arrow. The up arrow is very small to see and therefore looks like a line, but it is actually an up arrow here. And if you sort it in descending order, that is from large to small, the arrow will change to a down arrow. This tells you that there is some kind of sorting being applied based on this column. This is how number-based sorting works. Now, if you want to apply a sort based on a date-based column, you can go to date announced, that's a date-based column that we have in our data. Click on the drop down and now you have the option of old to new, new to old. So let's say I want to see all the new dates at the top and all the old dates at the bottom. I'll click on this. You can see all the newest dates, that is the latest data captured in this data set, will be shown at the top, which is 9th of April 2020. If I go to the last cell, it will be the date for the first patient, that is 30th of January 2020. You can apply the opposite as well. I'll select the option of oldest to newest and now the data will be completely reversed. Also notice how if I go to the drop down, whatever is active will have the icon highlighted in dark gray. Right now, as you can see, this is the one which is highlighted in dark gray and this is not, which tells us that we have applied sorting of oldest to newest. This is how date-based sorting works. To summarize what we have learned so far, we have looked at three types of sorting, A to Z and Z to A when it comes to text-based sorting. Then we have looked at smallest to largest and largest to smallest when it comes to number-based sorting. And now we have recently looked at oldest to newest and newest to oldest when it comes to date-based sorting. One another important point to note here is you cannot undo your sort, but there is one simple trick to actually revert back to your original data. And that trick is to be applied before you even start sorting your data. The trick is to have an index column for your data even if you do not require it for some other purpose. If you are planning to sort your data in the future, it's always the best thing to have an index column because the index column will help you revert back to your original data. Let's see how that is possible. For example, if I again go to detected state and click on A to Z, you see my data is now not in the default stage. If I now open up some other worksheet and start working on it, and let's say I spend 2 hours on working on that other sheet. If I want to revert back to my original data here, I will have to press Ctrl Z multiple times to undo all the changes. And if I do something like that, the first thing that will get removed or undone will be all the changes that I made in the new sheet. So all my work, all my progress will first be lost, and then I will be able to undo my change here. That's not the best way to undo your sort. Instead of pressing Ctrl Z multiple times, what you can do is have an index column even before you start sorting your data. You can start off from 1, the second row will be 2, 3, and then go on with increments of 1. Now that you have the index column, you can apply the sort, and if you want to revert back to your original data, the only thing that you need to do is go to that index column, which in this case is the patient number, click on its drop down, and select the first option of smallest to largest. Once you click on this, the data will sort by patient number from 1, 2, 3, and so on, which indirectly is kind of like having your data reverted back to your default setting, because this is exactly how your data was when you started with your sorting. So whenever you want to sort your data, make sure you have an index column first, because that will help you revert back to your original data in case you make multiple changes after your sort in some other worksheet and do some more work after that. This is how you can use sorting when it comes to Excel. That's it for this lecture, and I'll see you in the next one.